Okay, here I am with another recording because I found an error, and that that affected the whole project. It's interesting to be doing this with just a minimal understanding of the math, but I'll walk through it. So for our simple linear regression project, week two. Well, I think it's week three, but it's our second project, machine learning project. Um, I missed the word simple because I skimmed just for startup and then didn't think twice about it. So initially, I was using just a ton of variables and doing a more complex linear regression than what this project requires. But I'll get into that. So here's our imports, and then pretty nothing new, I think. Well, I mean, except for pardon me, linear regression, and then the R2 score and mean squared error, and splitting our training data. That's all new, but these imports, same as last week. And then, I love that I say nothing new and half of it's new. Um, so loading the data set, I'm using King County housing data. Uh, I couldn't find anything more interesting, and I got worried that I would end up doing a lot of cleaning, like a lot of unnecessary cleaning. I made a copy just so that I wouldn't change the initial data frame because just because of creating features, I ended up mutating. You end up changing the data sometimes. And it's nice to be able to go back or refer to the original thing. And then I did the, you know, initial examining, what did I load the data? What's here? So look at the first 5 rows, get the information on the columns. Is there anything missing in any of the columns? Any like empty fields? Describe and then here's your statistical breakdown with the quartiles. And I didn't end up needing to use that, or though maybe I did need to use that and I didn't consider. And then this was fun. I ended up checking for skew because I was unsatisfied with my initial results. So this is something I went back and did on the variables with big numbers. So let's see what we got. Oh yeah, so I checked for skew here, and square footage ended up having the biggest, and I think square footage ended up being the most significant for my linear regression model. Initially, I was doing other ratios, like a ratio of price per square footage, and realized that I my input was mathematically dependent on my output, and that's why I restarted this video because I don't know, the things you notice in the middle of a project. It's pretty interesting. It's an interesting way to learn for sure. Okay, so check for skew, and then where am I? I think I rolled back. Oh right, I forgot. I looked to see if there's anything in correlations, just if there was anything fun. And square foot of living is here again. Grade did not work out. Didn't give me anything. If anything, it usually pulled my score down. And square foot of foot closest neighbors also, I think that it didn't give me very much. No, square footage ended up being almost always helpful. Anyway, let's see. So we checked my data cleaning, I guess, and tuning took a bit of time. Oh, and so here's just a quick plot of one of the data, one of the tails. I always get the right, I guess the right and left mixed up. But this one was like the most egregious isn't quite right. Like just the most significant, I think. And then I ended up creating columns, like copies that had the uh, applied the log function from NumPy so that to do some like skew correction, and then hoping to like normalize the data a bit. I know that again, this is like math that I'm excited when I get to it. That'll be really fun. Okay, and then, oh yeah, and then this is the same data column as before, but with the log applied. And this is just verifying I have the columns that I was trying to make, and then this is the more data cleaning. So this is still step one. I had a bunch of large number values, but then I also had these smaller number values, like a 3-bedroom house or like 2 bathrooms, and sometimes there'd be zeros in the values. And so making sure I wasn't dividing by 0, making sure I wasn't dividing by something that wasn't a number. I think I had 3 rows where there were no bedrooms. I'm guessing that's like a studio or something, but since it was small enough, just removed it. So here's the and I think this was the 3 no bathrooms. Removed that stuff. And then essentially more of the same. And then this is just making sure that I didn't change any of the data frame features after doing the normalizing some of this data, or transforming it, I guess. And then, because I did, sorry about that. I did end up doing that a couple of times, like overwriting stuff accidentally. Sorry, my trackpad is really, really sensitive and I need to fix it. All right, so here is, this is just like, because I was moving around so much, a reference to the, I guess they're almost features of the data that I altered so that I could try to combine or find new features, basically. And here is, so this is like a square footage of the living area ratio to square footage of the lot. So this is our feature number 1. I think it was disappointing. This was a mistake, both of these, because I didn't think about it until 20 minutes ago when I was doing what I thought was going to be my video for this project. And I think it's one of those errors that's worth sort of holding on to and thinking about, because it's I'm glad I caught this and didn't just turn this in. The whole inputting the price and having it come out, even if it's intertwined with another variable, is not going to give me interesting data. It gave me like almost close to 1 in the R² metric, which is why I thought it was so significant. But I know statistically that the input needs to be independent of the output. So this was just a big math error on my part. So I'll just get, and you can see it looks great, but it's not what we're going for. And then over here, I thought this is I think 305 or 405 features that I was trying. I wanted to ratio between bathrooms and bedrooms, hoping that maybe something about, like layout or livability would be come through in those metrics, but it ended up being disappointing. And you can see it's just not very, and then I think I had a check for making sure that the output of that combo was good. I don't know if I needed it in the end, and then finally it was the square root of, so the entire living space divided by floors. And I think I didn't end up liking this feature either. So let's go, after I made all these features, and then in the model implementation, so these are the 2 that I made that had just ended up being a mathematical dependency. But the where are we? Oh yeah, so after combining all of making all those ratios to associate columns with each other, the most successful ended up being just the normalized data from the square footage of the living space. So I'll show that. And then, so now I'm doing the 80-20 split so that I can train my model on the 80% of the data. And then you can see here the output shows this. What I think this is the rows, the 80-20 split of the rows. And then we'll print. Did I just print? Oh, I see. That's why. All right, and then so I have my data completely set, and then in here we train the model, or fit the model, and then the first we'll go for an R-score first. So here's the PD data frame. I'm wondering now if that is mistaken, if that should be, oh no, wait, that's pandas, sorry. All right, so we're checking for our 2 score. Oh, I had this, I think this was in testing, but you can see that this is the highest I was able to get with only one engineered feature, R-score 0.374. And then, let me see. Okay, and I kept and here's my, the mean squared error. So I think that's like $285,000 off, which is kind of a lot, but it's a lot better than any of the other variables that I tried as like an independent starting variable. I kept the chart for bed per bath, but I'm just going to skip to the successful one. I hope, did I skip something? I'm not sure if, oh, there it is. My computer's probably just struggling. So this is the regression line over the scatter plot, and this is our living space, square foot of the living space compared to, which is supposed to predict price. And yeah, that's my result. I think I'm glad that I was able to at least get a 0.3. I was shooting for much higher, but yeah, sometimes you take what you can get. So this was really fun. I'm looking forward to more complicated models where we use a lot more features to predict an outcome. But yeah, all right. I'm just gonna have to go fix my README to remove all of the math, my mistakes. So see you in class.